Hi, is it allergy season? Is it pending? Are you dreading? Are you trying to figure out air filters and all of that? Well, let's go to the root of the matter. Hi, I'm Siobhan Sarna, founder of Chronic Condition Rescue and SIBO SOS, and the creator of 11 Summits and the author of Healing SIBO. I am here with my friend and one of my mentors and brilliant engineer and health advocate and educator and formulator, Steven Wright, who is going to be talking about how to, really help yourselves this year and beyond in dealing with these allergies and mast cell activation and all that groovy stuff. And you don't know what that is, don't worry, we're going to explain. And Steven, I'm going to let you take it away. Happy spring in the US. Hello.
Hey, Siobhan. Yes,
Hi.
happy spring. It's a sunny day here in Boulder, Colorado, so that's pretty awesome. Very excited for that. And with spring comes, pollen and more time outside, and these are good things, except for when they're not so good. If you do have somebody like yourself or somebody in your household that is extremely reactive to the world around them, and it can totally suck. And so, I grew up in a household where my mom has seasonal allergies so bad that sometimes she would have like, really bad headaches. She'd be on all kinds of antihistamines. It did get kind of passed down into the family, into me and my siblings. And I noticed like to be on Claritin for months on end and just hoping that it works because oftentimes for me anyways, and a lot of people that I've seen, antihistamines just relieve part of the symptoms. They're actually not like a Band-Aid. A Band-Aid actually stops the problem or protects the cut. Antihistamines often just relieve the pressure or the symptoms, but you could still be super cloudy, super stuffed up in your nasal cavities, and or lots of other, eye-related issues, things like that. So today, I want to talk about some other options, right? Because we there's lots of options out there for people with seasonal hay fever or allergies, wherever you might be. Like I know there's like a specific type of season in Austin, Texas. There's a specific season in Michigan and Florida. So every area of the world, I think people have certain plants that are going to bloom. And then depending on your immune system's ability to be with those plants, you could have, those symptoms. And so you could try histamine blockers like quercetin and things like this, mast cell stabilizers, or you could try antihistamines. But there's actually another way that I think is even more powerful and better long term because you'll actually get a lot of other benefits. So that's what we want to talk about today.
All right. So when it comes to what is it, let's talk about what is a mast cell. Mast cell. MCAS, you hear about it. It's histamine related. It is what brings, in a good way, attention to a wound, right? It's part of that whole inflammation response. But if you go and your bucket gets too full, then you're doing the itchy eye. You're having this over inflammation response all the time. And it really can be so devastating for people. And we need to figure out how to get to it. And remember also, we're not talking about air purifiers today, but remember, if you don't have a drafty house, you've got another like potential source of allergens because you got to have airflow. Anyway, what do you do? What do you do, Stephen? What did you figure out?
Yeah, so I mean, well, you pointed out the problem, right? Well, the problem is you should open your windows, but if you open your windows during pollen season or a high pollen day, uh, you might have terrible sleep, and then that sleep becomes all types of issues. So, anyways, your your body, your immune system, your mast cells, your whole body is built to actually take in those pollens, take in those smells, those phytochemicals, and then it changes actually. It's almost just like the way that we change our immune or our microbiome through eating different types of food. So when people say try to eat, 10, 20, 30 different types of plants in a week, it's to get all that different sort of information from those plants to your microbiome, to your immune system. It's also similar being outside. There's lots of studies actually where you could go walk in a forest for 20 minutes and just smell the pine or smell the flowers, and your parasympathetic nervous system relaxes. Everything chills out. And so the world around us is sending out phytochemicals, and these phytochemicals are interacting with our body, with our immune system. And if we're able to be with them, which we should be. That's the natural state. That's the normal state. Unfortunately, the common state is that we're not able to be with them. And so that's why we have all these air purifiers. That's why we're afraid to open the windows, and that creates a whole host of other things. And so your options are kind of limited, right? You could avoid the outdoors, which I don't want to encourage anybody to do. You could try to preempt them with some antihistamines, especially sort of the non-Benadryl class, so the Claritins of the world. They don't have that many side effects. However, they don't really get the job done. What they're doing is they're blocking the mast cells, or they're blocking the cells from the histamine getting into them. So the mast cells are going to release the histamine. And again, histamine is not good or bad. It just is, just like estrogen or testosterone. And so the antihistamines basically just block the cell's ability to take up the extra histamine. And so you still have this histamine circulating in your system. And so what we want to do is we want to build a body and be in an experience where we can go for a walk, we can deal with the outside world and not react to it, not be overreactive or hyper vigilant to it.
Right.
And so that's the goal here. And diet's not going to get you there. You're not going to get it there with diet. You're not going to get it by being more in a glass house. You can't wash your hands more. You can't wash your skin more. Sure, you can wash your bedding on a regular basis. You can do these things that people say to sort of reduce the pollen count around you. But again, all of these mechanisms are putting yourself into a glass house. You're like, I can't deal, therefore I shall clean my space and the things around me more and more and more so that they're more and more pure. But that's a losing battle. You're never going to get out of the seesaw of the issue. And so there's some cool new ways through the gut that you can actually begin to retrain your tolerance to the world around you. And people did not take this seriously. Last year, we ran a whole promo last year about this, that we could actually rewire your body's ability to be with allergens, to be with the normal outside world, and that you could go through allergy season with a totally different experience. And some people bought in, most people didn't. They stayed on the sidelines and watched. And now we have, thankfully, like almost 100 testimonials of people who did try it. And the truth is that this has been studied in humans. It wasn't just me. I found the studies and then built the product around the studies. And so I just want to give people hope that there's a way where you don't have to use Claritin. You don't have to fall back on Benadryl and the scary neurodegenerative effects of Benadryl. And depending on, as long as the kid is over 2 years old, this can even help kids. And so that's the really cool part about it.
Okay, so what exactly is it that you created to help with all of this, and how does it work?
Yeah, so we created the world's first multi-strain pasteurized probiotic. So I've said paraprobiotic, you can call it a pasteurized probiotic, you can call it a heat-killed probiotic, you can call it a dead probiotic, you can call it whatever it is. It's dead probiotics as well as dead beta-glucans, which are yeast cells extracted from yeast, that are killed specifically to optimize their ability to interact with your immune system. And so it's shelf stable.
So counterintuitive. Why would I want to eat something that's been killed? That being said, you know what? I eat broccoli that's not alive anymore. Right? Like that's one way to is that an appropriate way to think about it? Like it's been cut. There's no, shelf stable. I don't know. It's not really, because it's fading. I don't know. It's an interesting idea. Keep talking.
The whole world right now is like, look, you're wasting money if your probiotic is not a spore-based alive probiotic. If it's not, if the capsule technology is not keeping it alive, or if it's not a spore-based, it's a waste of money. And that's just not the truth. That's just a partial truth. Every type of bug does something different. And these dead bugs actually modify our immune system. They balance our immune system way better than the live bugs do. And so think about it. If you're taking an alive bug into your body has to deal with that live bug. It doesn't necessarily know friend or foe immediately. It's got to figure out how that live bug fits into the community and what the impacts it's having. It doesn't just, our body's not in the place of just welcoming potential foreign invaders in all the time. We have a lot of defense mechanisms to try to keep those out. But a dead thing, it's already dead. So it's not as much of a potential risk factor. And so it's much more approachable, number one. And then number two, the way in which the body interacts with that dead cell is that the receptors on the cell and then the makeup of the cell wall, the immune system in the gut immune system, actually they connect, and that gives feedback about what's happening in the outside world. It's like a pollen or an allergen, if you will. It's literally a piece of information about what's happening out in the world. You just happen to, rather than smell it or lick it or something, you took a capsule full of it.
Okay.
And the immune system pulls that in, it analyzes it, and then it sends out messages. And those messengers are like cytokines, or it creates T helper cells, or it blocks IgE formation. And those ripple effects end up rebalancing an immune system that's out of balance. And I would call anything, if you're having a persistent allergy experience, you have an out of balance system.
Right. Okay. Okay. So how tell us about the studies and how it came to be? And this is HoloImmune, right?
Yeah. Yep. So this is
Okay.
HoloImmune.
Yeah.
So back when the pandemic kicked off, I was trying to figure out how can we optimize our immune systems, right? Everybody was. There's a lot of really important data on vitamin A and vitamin D and zinc. There's really cool data on, say, quercetin for mast cell stabilization, things like that. There's other mast cell stabilizers, but all of that is like literally either the building blocks for your house or the window dressing of your house, or like some version of it, but it doesn't necessarily build the house. It doesn't necessarily make the house more livable. And so there's no real solution out there in the studies for how do you rehab an immune system that's out of balance, right? We have adaptogenic herbs, but nothing that actually causes the immune system to be differently every time you take it. And that's what dead probiotics or pasteurized probiotics do. And so these strains have been studied in Japan. Most of them come out of Japan for the last 2 decades. So 2 to 3 decades worth of research on humans as well as in rats and mice. So they're very safe. They're very well studied. And what we know is that when they give the live version of this strain versus the dead version, they do different things. You can't take the live version and get the same immune benefits. It's only the dead ones that do the thing. So in this case, there is a few things that could go wrong in your immune system. Number one, your Th1 part of your immune system could be too overactive or underactive. Your Th2 system could be overactive or underactive. Or the communication between the two could be broken or not as efficient as it could be, right? And so Th1 is typically autoimmune. It's what it's associated with. Th2 is typically allergies and asthma.
Yeah.
And then, as I said, you need actually a crosstalk between the two, because we actually don't want them out of balance. We want just balance, right? We want the ability to respond to pine pollen, to flower pollen, to a bug that's coming in. And so what the HoloImmune strains do, one of them supports the communication pathway. It basically increases the cells, plasmacytoid dendritic cells. These cells are communicating between the two branches, trying to balance them and help them handle whatever's happening. And then it has one strain that balances Th1 and one strain that balances Th2. And so they all work together to basically upgrade whatever might be out of whack one way or the other, whether it's overexpressed or underexpressed.
Okay, so we've all been trained, understandably so. And there's like, you're not saying there's anything wrong with live probiotics, are you? And you're just saying, here's another option for you that has been studied with great results. Before we move on, Clarissa, can you go ahead and pop the link for the savings into the chat for everyone? Because we like sort of connect the dots for us. And then also, if you guys decide to pick up HoloImmune today, I do have an in-webinar bonus for you. In the next 40 minutes, if you did decide to pick it up and you send us a proof of purchase, we have a masterclass from Dr. Leonard Weinstock about MCAS and SIBO, and it's phenomenal, and it's usually $59. And we also included the 2 hours of Q&A, which were excellent. He's an amazing gastroenterologist. So that's an in-webinar bonus if you send the proof of purchase to info@SIBO SOS. If you do that in the next 40 minutes, 45 minutes, Steven, so our brains, our training for all of us who are like these health seekers that are going out there and doing all this and going to the webinars and stuff, you're saying like, hey, this is new. to us. Like in Japan, they've had it 20, 30 years. But in the US, to us, you created the first one here in the United States that has that quality to it. Is that what we're talking about?
Correct. And even in Japan, no company's ever combined them together. They're all single dosed products that I'm aware of. I can't read all of the Japanese literature in the world, but yeah, as far even the people that I work with in Japan are like, no one's ever done this, and still no one's done this. And so yes, the live bugs are strain specific outcomes. I think I've talked about this before. Throw out your 10 billion 10 strain 10 billion or 100 billion products. Throw out your 500 billion products with 14 strains. Those products don't work. Like we're very clear on that. Go to the companies like Microbiome Labs or other companies that have very specific strains at very specific dosages that are tested for whatever it is you're dealing with. And if you're dealing with hay fever, if you're dealing with eczema, if you're dealing with rashes, that has actually been studied in humans as well as in kids from the strain in Hol Immune called Lactobacillus acidophilus L92. So this is a very specific strain that's dead, Lactobacillus acidophilus L92,
Okay.
and it has been studied for human studies for eczema, for hay fever, and what it's doing is it's basically blocking excessive IgE formation and supporting the balance between the Th1 and Th2 sides. And so that's really cool, right? It's interacting in the gut, affecting your nasal passages, your skin on your face, your skin on your body. The
Cool.
yeah, the I think it's really cool. The LP20 strain actually has a study on humans with periodontal disease pockets. So those pockets in your mouth that become like a 4 and your dentist is like, hey, might need to like take a look at those.
Yeah.
In the study with humans over 12 weeks, it restored some of the 4s back to 3s. And again, this is something you're taking an oral capsule, you're swallowing it, and your GALT, your gut associated lymphoid tissue, your parent cells, your M cells are taking in these cells, and then it's causing an anti-inflammatory change in the way your body reacts to the world. And you can see this in your in your eyes, in your nasal passages, your skin, even in your brain. So there's neurodegenerative, or there's not neurodegenerative, there is neuro benefits for a lot of our people as well who are taking it, who have like latent brain fog, or they don't even consider themselves to have brain fog, but they have like, I'm getting older fog,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I don't want to admit that something has changed. But not like, I'm not talking about like intense memory issues or anything like that. But there is neurodegeneration benefits as well. And again, how would that be happening? It's because there is a signal coming from your gut to your brain that to be into a pro-inflammatory state, this product is interacting with that signal, blocking it and changing it to a less inflammatory state. And then you feel a cognitive difference.
Okay, so what I just did was I clicked the link that Clarissa put in the chat and was just looking at the research. So it's not even a slide presentation, it's all right there on the site. And it is $15 off with the link. The coupon's already activated, so you don't need to remember my name or anything like that. It's just automatic. What is the code for the $15 off? So Judith, it's automatic at checkout.
And
And
if it
there,
doesn't work because you have a pop-up blocker or you're on your phone or whatever else, because some people it won't work for because technology, it's SIBO SOS. It's not hard. You got
thank you.
this.
Thank you. And it's free shipping in the US. So he does ship overseas. There is shipping and handling. Just FYI, full disclosure, because we always get that question. And please put your questions in the Q&A box and not in the chat, because now I'm just going to be staring at the Q&A box. Let's put a pause and ask some and get some questions done. Are you cool with that?
Yeah.
So, but can't a mast cell diet or low histamine diet get us there, like get us through this?
Not in my opinion. You're just putting yourself in a glass house. You're becoming a bubble boy or a bubble girl.
Okay.
So if you want to ride out the season indoors with a special diet, that's fine. And some folks are so inflamed and their body is in a state from whether it be mold or gut infections or a combination of those things, they do need these tools. But that's not a fix of any type. That's just a crutch to get through a certain situation.
Symptom management, which
Yeah.
we're all for symptom management, but let's get to the root cause. What are the scary neurodegenerative effects of Benadryl and how long of use?
I am not a Benadryl expert. You
I
could
mean, you guys can
Google,
Google that really easily.
yeah,
So we'll
PubMed
keep going.
Benadryl neurodegeneration. Just Google that. But basically, it's messing with the cholinergic, I think, system in the brain, and
Yep.
it causes degeneration. It's not. I think my I think my mom used to give me Benadryl every once in a while when I couldn't sleep, and so I mean, it's a great way to knock. It's a great
It'll knock
tool
you
if,
out.
yeah, if you're having a anaphylactic experience, like you got stung by a bee or something really bad happened, Benadryl is amazing. It's a life-saving medication. But on the regular use, chronic use of Benadryl does have, like we know now, it will cause neurodegeneration.
Also, for those of you with slow motility, it does slow the motility of your gut. I know that because I was on Benadryl for at least 2 years when I did the overnight shift on TV. And slowly but surely, that SIBO got worse. And also, I had to take like more and more and I ended up sleeping like for 13 hours a day. The overnight shift was bad enough, but like at some point, it's a long story. So anyway, I definitely noticed a difference. Couldn't wait to get rid of that stuff. Again, grateful for when you need it. Is there an overlap between the mechanism of this and say homeopathic baby leaf poison ivy to treat poison ivy reactions? Interesting.
Um, I'm not familiar with that version. I mean, I'm familiar with the idea in the allergy world of giving small doses. So I've had my skin pricked all the way down several times. I went in for 2 years and got grass and allergen, basically infusions injected into me for 2 years to try to essentially train my immune system to not react to the outside world. It utterly failed. I went religiously for 2 years and it didn't fix anything. And so I'm sure it works for some folks, but it did not work for me. It did not work for my sister. It doesn't work for anybody that I'm aware of in my inner circle. And so they're not working on that same fashion because we're not actually taking in this case, the allergen or the offending substance. We're not taking in that substance. We're taking in a different substance that's saying, hey, relax in the way you approach life. Like, stop being so hyper vigilant with everything that comes at you. And so I like to describe it as more of a rehab for your immune system, like almost like as if you hurt your shoulder or you hurt your knee and you literally have to go train with a trainer to figure out how to move that joint again. How do those muscles work correctly? And how do you run again? That's more of what the product is doing.
Maureen's saying Benadryl is bad, but I think you should be more clear that it's not a fix for anaphylaxis. That's an EpiPen. Okay, thank you. And also, this isn't medical advice. And yes, that's a really good point. Yeah. If
Yes.
someone is having an anaphylactic shock, go through their purse or their pocket and find their EpiPen and call the paramedics. So there you go. Thank you very much. Are you saying that this is a mast cell treatment?
It's not going to fix your mast cell alone, but part of mast cell is the overexpression of histamine to regular substances.
Okay.
And I am saying that this will, once you're past the stage in mast cell activation where you react to everything all the time, like you can't have fish oil, you can't have curcumin, you can't have more than 10 foods. Once you're past that level, due to dealing with the mold or dealing with your nervous system, whatever it is you need to get out of that hyper reactivity, the next phase of your healing, you're going to have to reintroduce the world to you. And this product is very helpful for we have several mast cell clinics that use this product in that phase of their healing.
Cool. That is cool. Okay, go to the website that has the link right there in the chat. And please put your questions in. Sarah, Sonia, please put them in the Q&A box. Okay, I'm going to zip through some of these with you, Steven. Is there an overlap? I did that already. Yay, Siobhan. Okay, to the best of your knowledge, what organs are doing what actions with your product from the time it enters the mouth, excretion being synthesized, metabolized? Gut.
So I mentioned that already. It's
Yep,
it's
you did.
opening the capsules opening in the stomach, and so I don't know what's being interacted there, but it's not affected by stomach acid. It's already dead. And then in the small intestine, the gulp, the M cells and the parent cells are taking it up, and they are when it samples it, the makeup of the cell receptors and the dead chunks of the cell wall tell the immune system to do things differently.
Does this probiotic act as a prebiotic, and how long should your products be taken? Hi, Alexis.
So the beta glucan. So the other thing that's in there is a a potent dose of 250 milligrams of beta glucans from yeast. And so if you have a yeast issue, we have not seen people who have a yeast overgrowth have any issue with this product. We've had it on the market for almost 2 years now. We get that question a lot. It's a specifically purified over 80% extract of 1316 beta glucans, and it acts as a mild prebiotic. But also, if you look at the beta glucan research, it's immensely helpful for secretory IgA, which is a chemical defense part of the gut that helps mop up various toxins and various allergens. But also, there's a lot of similar thing happening. It's literally dead yeast cell walls that are extracted and separated. And so it is a para yeast biotic, if you will. And so they work in combination together.
Okay. Somebody was talking about accessibility. I already replied. How long can you take it? Do you have to take it forever? We've covered that. I have a
Yeah,
hard time. Go ahead.
the studies show basically from week 0 to week 12 on all the strains that the people keep getting better and better. So whether you're after a rash improvement, an allergy improvement, a brain improvement, that folks over time get better and better. It's not like a product that you can just, it's not a drug. It's literally not a drug. You will literally not feel 100% resolution, whatever you want tomorrow, the first day you take it. But if you dose it long enough, your body retrains, it goes through rehab and how to do things. And some people need a little bit more. Some people need 2 caps a day. Some people need 3 caps a day, but most people are 1 or 2 cap a day people. I would say that's 98% of all of our users. And the effects last for a while after you stop, but if you are in a state where you're not interacting with the world a lot, you're in a washing your hands all the time, you're not going outside, you're not eating fermented foods, you're not interacting with pets, then you may need to stay on it again, or may need to go back on it again after you've done, 12 to 24 weeks of it.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, So if I've not tolerated probiotics in the past, would the ghost cells have the same effect?
They're not in the same category. So, I mean, they're in the same category in that they're part of a organism, but this one's dead. And so I would say no, they're not going to have the same effect. But if you buy it and you start with a sprinkle and it doesn't work out, which is about 2.5% of users of the product, will give you your money back. So you can just try it, sprinkle it, and give it a go. The really sensitive folks do need to sprinkle and then slowly go up in amount. Because again, think of it more like you're taking your immune system to the rehab or to the gym every day. And so if yours is pretty banged up, if it hasn't been worked in a long time, you got to go slow. Just like if you hadn't walked a mile in a long time, you'd want to start with a quarter mile first.
Okay. What's the best time to take the probiotic, not probiotic, this product? Hi, Heather. What's the best time to take it? Does it matter?
So if you're in an acute situation, you can dose it throughout the day. Like you could do 1 in the morning, 1 at lunch, and 1 at night. Most people will just take it in the morning or at night. You don't have to take it with food or without food. It's already dead. You don't have to worry about that. We don't really see any benefit taking it more than 4 per day. But there are some folks who are having like real intense neuro effects from concussions or TBIs, or allergy season is just beating the heck out of them because of, they're stressed in their other parts of their life. Their hormones are a little bit of a mess, and it's that time of the month, whatever it is, like it's flaring, and you can escalate the dosage during those times and then bring it back down.
Okay. What if you're not able to swallow the capsules? Can you just you can open the
Yep.
capsules, no problem.
Yeah, it's already dead. It's all good.
Are the capsules vegetarian? Really?
Yes.
Yes, they are. And you can also open them. Okay. It's 15, can you just check out that last comment in the Q&A? Because that's like a lot for me to process. I don't know how I'm supposed to answer that.
Yeah, just email us at support at Healthy Gut. If you're trying to combine a bunch of different discounts, you might not get all the discounts.
Support at healthygut.com.
Yep.
Cool. Thank you. Okay, let's see. Ah,
Most
that's
people
a
due
lot.
to start, most people start noticing a change in week 1 and then going into week 2. Again, if you don't notice something right away, we ask you to double up to 2 pills a day for a little bit and then go back down to 1 pill.
Are these strains great for people with TBI and brain inflammation? Hi, Louise. I would
Again, this is totally anecdotal. There is absolutely no like double blind research or single blind or pilot trials on this, but we've had multiple team members. Either one got in a car accident, I think, and the other one tripped in the middle of the night and hit her head on the nightstand. And they were doing almost everything. You know, they were doing hyperbaric, they were doing keto, they were doing curcumin, they were doing all kinds of different things, methylene blue, all kinds of stuff. And it just wasn't, they weren't getting over their dizziness, their vision issues. And so they started with 3 caps a day and then did that for 8 weeks. And they went down to 2 caps and then they just take 1 cap now as a preventative.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. Let's see. We did that one. Here we go. Don't worry about if you can't take a capsule, no problem. You can do a sprinkle. Can rashes due to unknown causes be helped?
Yeah, that's one of the things that's really, really good at is the unknown rashes that you've tried the topical options from the store or from your dermatologist. You've tried the steroid pills and they're just not getting better. This seems to have a pretty cool ability to clear up many of those. Again, it will take about a month usually. So let it build up in your system where you're basically retraining the signals that are producing the rash. And so you have to let it work for a while.
Is it gluten-free?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. 2 years and older. Yes, they're gluten-free. Blah, blah, blah. Cancel. Let's see. Okay. Answer live. Done. Okay. Um, uh, are there any issues between SIBO treatment and these capsules?
No, it's only going to help. So it's basically upregulating your immune system. SIBO in part, not fully, but in part is a problem with your immune system's inability to clear bacteria from the wrong part of the body. So anything that improves your immune system will improve your SIBO outcomes.
Okay, here's the deal, you guys. Yes, it will help allergies, even if they're not seasonal, right? So you're having an overinflammation response. I used to not be able to go into like a carpet store or a fabric store, because just the chemicals. So it's not just about seasonal allergies. So that's great. I'm glad we clarified that. Here's my thing. It's worth a try, right? So I trust Steven. I trust his science. I trust his I trust his BS meter big time, and like his tolerance for no BS. I've seen him walk away from so many offers and people wanting to do stuff with him because he's like, happy for you. Not really. I mean, basically he was saying like it's not up to his standards. So I'm trying to be really nice about it. So I would like to encourage you to try it. If it doesn't work, he does have the return policy. You are getting a beautiful $59 masterclass from Dr. Leonard Weinstock if you order in the next like 20 minutes. And that's usually $59. Even if you return it, I'm not going to be like, oh, give me the masterclass back. That's just not going to happen. And you would send your receipt, proof of purchase, to info@SIBOSOS.com. It's $15 off your order. If you can't figure out the link, use a coupon code SIBOSOS. The link, however, has that already included, so you can't do the link and SIBO SOS to get an additional $15 off. It is free shipping in the US. This is different. This is truly cutting edge. Steven is an engineer who is obsessed with health and gut health because of his own journey. For those of you who've come regularly, you know about it. If you haven't, he is like pulled himself back from the depths of ill health over time and has educated literally millions of people about gut health. He was doing online education about gut health, 2009? 2009? Yeah. So
Yeah, that's when we got started.
that's an ancient times for online education. Like This is an opportunity for you to try something really cutting edge and different, which is what I love to do, is to bring you breakthroughs, direct access to the experts, and then always with, to the best of my ability, with a discount. So if you're interested, we would love to have you try it. Now, the other thing is he has a kick-ass Facebook group. Now, I have a kick-ass Facebook group with 30,000 people in it obsessing over SIBO, and we're streaming in there live right now. So Clarissa can put that information in there for you if you guys, no one ever has to go to Facebook if you don't want to, but I'm just saying, tell us about your Facebook group for support, and then we'll try to get in some more questions. Okay, and Steph is saying she had to use the coupon code to see a discount using laptop, now mobile, if that makes a difference. I'm not sure. So use SIBO SOS if you need to get the discount. Okay. Go.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
there's some like really complicated questions in here about like drug interactions or cancer drugs or things like that. You're just gonna have to email support at Healthy Gut. I can't answer those live because I would actually need to Google those. There's no quote unquote known interactions for these strains. Again, they have been studied in a lot of human trials. Each one of the strains has at least 4 trials each. The Immune strain has like 10 or 12. It has like performance ones, like all of them are also been studied either in mice or in humans on helping with outcomes with influenza. So there's a really cool stuff. It was initially I built it for viral support, and it became that it was much more effective at these other things. Um, so if you want the list of studies, you want more info, just go to the webpage. Most of them are listed there, or you can
okay.
just Google Amuse NCBI or L92 NCBI. They'll pull them up there. These are not gated studies or anything like that. They're freely published out there.
Okay. This is okay. What is the coupon code? It's SIBO SOS, SIBO
Yep.
SOS. Okay, Jean, we will send you the replay. I have to leave now, but we'll watch the rest if there's a recording. There is. I have HoloImmune here now, and it's great to get this level of understanding of how it works. I do think that that really does help. I mean, it works whether you understand it or not, but I do like having that explanation. Um, how does consuming probiotic-rich foods or fermented foods affect those with allergies, asthma, and related conditions you're alluding to? Doesn't it really depend on your snowflake microbiome?
No, actually, in my
All right.
opinion. The research is pretty clear that if you have a pet, or if you eat fermented food on a daily basis, or at least every other day basis, you essentially are exposing your body to a range of uh bugs, like tons of bugs, like not purified, not studied. We don't even know all of the strains. We haven't even measured all the strains. And because of that, you you react less to everything else you see. And so, yes, your specific snowflake microbiome will have its uniqueness, but in general, most of the studies suggest that people who dig in the dirt, people who have pets, people who eat fermented foods have way better immune tolerance to the whole world, and also less lost work days, which means like you're not getting a cold or a flu enough that you stay home. So typically getting less sick from things. So that, and again, the whole idea is it's kind of similar to HoloImmune, which is that basically by inputting all kinds of randomness, all kinds of random bugs on a regular basis, your immune system learns that it doesn't need to be so vigilant about its intense response to broccoli or softener on your clothes or smells in the air, whatever it might be.
Perfumes in the elevator. So
Yep.
here's what it looks like when you click the link. Here's some testimonials. So last year, Stephen and I did this, and it was new, right? Like, when did you create this product, Stephen? It's quite new, isn't it?
It's been out at least 18 months. I think we're almost at 2 years, but
That's adorable. 18 months is so new. Like, you see, like, yeah, but I've been living it every single day. It feels like 10 years. So it's new. If you're like, oh, I know a lot about supplements, but I've never heard of this. This is what I say. This is what I have something very, very important to say. Go to the page and you'll see all of these, research tidbits, et cetera, along with the studies. So I have a dear, dear friend, Miles, and Miles told me about Harry Potter. No, he didn't tell me about it. I already was trying to tell him about Harry Potter. And this is what he said. He's like, I don't know. He went to film school and everything. He's super smart. It's like, everyone likes it. I was like, yeah, they like it for a reason. Here's the deal. Act like you discovered it. Go watch it or read it or whatever. If you don't like Harry Potter, don't worry about this, but get the point. And he said, all right, fine. So he did that. And he was like, oh, Siobhan, it was so good. Because he had to get his ego out of the way and just be like beginner's mind. So I know a lot of you are super duper savvy, and that's why you show up for these. And you are sharing all this information with all your friends. And if you're like, oh, I've never heard of it before. That's because it's only 18 months old in terms of a product here in the market. In Japan, 20, 30 years of research. Let's face it, most people in the United States are not monitoring Japanese medical research, unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it. But thank goodness, hello, good news about the web. We're able to get access to the world so much more these days. So I guess my point is that if you're doubting, if you're thinking maybe hopeful, but it's that whole conflict, and we've tried everything, it didn't work. Now I'm kind of cynical. Oh, am I talking about myself, Siobhan? Oh, yes, I am. Sorry. Please try it. See what you think. There is no risk because Steven has a great return policy because he doesn't want you to keep something that truly doesn't work. But what I would suggest is when you get it at home to actually open the bottle and try it. Do not just stare at it. Okay. Because then you will not know if it worked. And I understand also what it's like to have a supplement graveyard. Steven does too. We also understand what it's like to oh, I feel like I've tried everything and it doesn't work. Well, here's you're here for a reason right now. This is new. This is different. And that's why I wanted to do this. So that's my cheerleader conversation with you. There you go.
And just
Yeah,
to, yeah, I
yeah,
mean, just to go upon that, Anne's asking, what about someone who gets congested with head and ear symptoms? Yes, that is perfectly, that is part of hay fever. That what's been studied. Congestion issues, Sonia. Yes, those are much, I have a lot of confidence that the product at the right dose, again, I don't know if your dose is half of a pill, a full pill, 2 pills, will really help those things. There's other people asking questions about really bad nut allergies. Laura Lynn's asking about that. That's going to take a little bit more time, most likely, and especially if you're saying nut, but you actually mean legume, like a cashew allergy, because not all nuts are nuts, some are legumes. That can be more complicated, right? Because there can be actual processes underlying that. So if you have someone asked about a really intense cat allergy. If this is something that you have, and by really bad, I mean you have an EpiPen, you have oral Benadryl that you put in your mouth to recover because your face gets so swelled up. You've gone to the hospital for this condition. Some of these things, you've canceled the event for these situations. I would consider that a pretty severe reaction. And I would say that this product is not a panacea for you, that you probably are going to need to use it in combination with your other things, whether you're using Tribunal X or quercetin or other things that help with mast cells, and a plan to slowly recover from that if you can recover from it. And so I'm not saying that this fixes everything forever, especially for someone who has an anaphylactic allergy. That is not what I'm saying at all. I'm talking about the low grade issues that we don't have a solution for in our society, where our immune system gets bent up in a certain direction where it's always overexpressing itself, either Th1 or Th2. You need more T helper cells. Somebody was asking, how does this work? What is it actually doing? It's boosting T helper cells. The more T helper cells you have, the more you basically are able to dampen over activation of things. The one L92 is blocking excessive IgE formation at the cellular level. The other one is boosting IL-12 cytokine levels, which are anti-inflammatory up to a certain point. The beta glucans are boosting secretory IgA expression. So it's literally boosting, it's like fine tuning your immune system. And I try to design it so that you don't know, and I don't know if you're 2 Th2 dominant or 2 Th1 dominant, or there's no way to tease out all these variables yet. There's some really expensive testing from Vibrant America, but even then, I don't have enough details on it. And most clinicians haven't seen enough details to know, okay, she says, cat allergy, this is what that looks like on paper with all these testing. And so I wanted to build a product that was literally modulating, meaning I don't know what is out of balance for you, but it's going to help put it back into balance for you.
Okay. I have a yeast infection. Should I be taking this product? Will it impact a yeast infection?
It could definitely help with the recovery, but you may need to still treat that wherever it's happening.
No EpiPen needed for my reactions to cat, just lots of symptoms that I've been willing to forego for the love of my cats. Bless you. Got it. When you're purchasing, it's not dropping the price. You try using coupon SIBO SOS. Clarissa, can you do a test, please? I know some people have had no problem. Would this help with my MCAS? Andy, we were talking about that earlier. Yes, that is kind of the point. Yep. So I'm glad you asked that. Help for alpha gal, GAL. I don't know what that is.
I can't say. Alpha gal is actually this new crazy thing where you basically begin to react to all meat proteins or part of meat
Oh,
proteins.
right.
It's like a type of
Oh,
autoimmunity.
oh, the
No
Lyme.
data on that CGN. I'm not going to make any claims that can help for that at all.
Okay. Did you already answer Anna B? If my son takes it for seasonal allergies, hypothetically, would that cellular information stay with him so next year he'd be fine for during spring?
I don't know,
I don't
Anna.
know. Yeah.
It would depend on how long he took it and like did he ramp up before the allergy season? And then so basically did he do the rehab before the allergy season started? And then when his immune system interacted with those new pollens or those allergens from a new and improved state and it didn't react to it, does that stick the next year? I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah. Anybody who has questions, please put it in the Q&A box. We have about 8 minutes left for that live bonus. I just want to show you what my team did because this morning I was like, hey guys, I'm doing the webinar with Steven today. We should do a webinar only bonus. How about Dr. Weinstock's masterclass on MCAS? And the one that we have that she's showing me, it's the wrong one. Clarissa, it's the wrong one. Just FYI. So I'll get with Lisa to get you the right one, my love. Just FYI, Clarissa, can you confirm you heard me? But Dr. Leonard Weinstock is an amazing gastroenterologist who is really doing some cutting edge work with MCAS, long COVID, SIBO. He's written chapters on low-dose naltrexone. He's amazing. And he did a beautiful masterclass about MCAS and SIBO and histamines and just really great information. SIBO can lead to a histamine intolerance because how it hurts the villi on the inside of your intestines. Not everyone has that reaction, but that was also one of the reasons why I really wanted to do this for my entire community, because this could theoretically, based on the research, help. Everybody is different. This isn't medical advice, but I would definitely suggest trying it. I think it is a very exciting development in science that we have right now. Jackie's saying I have a hoarse throat and wheezing and I sing with kids for a living. Bless your heart. I'm new to the SIBO diagnosis. Okay, and want to know how it's affecting my voice and what I can do. It's a winding road to get to the voice, but you definitely want to support your immune system. Stephen, I'll let you take that one. I think it's everything we've been saying.
Yeah, again, so at the end of the day, this is still, as Siobhan has mentioned, a newer product. It's a totally new innovation in the design of a supplement product. If you buy it and you try it and it doesn't start helping, and then you double the dose with the help of my team, again, remember there's functional health coaches that
Facebook
answer the
group.
phones. You can get a free coaching call with one of these people. They're very trained on this. And it doesn't work, then we have a refund policy. We have your 60-day refund policy. So I'm not in the business of trying to promise
Yeah,
anything that doesn't deliver and then keep your money.
right.
We do have a restocking fee, but that's it. The goal is to get people to try the product and make sure they titrate their dose based on the situation. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And I do apologize in that scenario. But like I said, we only have 2.5% of refunds for this product. And I actively say everywhere I go, please contact us and refund if it doesn't work for you. So
Yeah.
we're not like other companies out there that have a refund policy, but we bury it at the bottom of our website, or we make you, talk to someone live, or
Oh,
do all kinds of like jump through all kinds of hoops. I'm actively saying like, I know what happens when you put products on your credit card and you're not sure how you're going to pay for them, hoping you're going to get a benefit. I was there once. And so I want to help people who are in that situation as well.
okay. I just tried to return a shirt to Talbot's, and I have to say, like, I had to go back to school to get a degree to be able to manage their return policy. It was a pain in the booty. Okay, contraindications for this product: first term or later term pregnancy or other populations or specific conditions that should not take. Great question.
Yeah, so during pregnancy, it's never been studied in pregnancy taking these bugs, and so unless you're working with somebody who feels comfortable guiding your care through that, I would not take it. Again, for children under 2 should not take the product. There's nothing that I can say would necessarily be bad, but there's been no studies on those folks, and so we can't say that it's quote unquote safe. The same is true for breastfeeding, although we do have some functional lactation consultants who coach women in that situation. If you need their information and you're wanting to try the product, we could get you in touch with those folks. Just email support@healthygut.com.
Okay.
But if you're an at-risk person, or if you're dealing with an at-risk person in your family, like, be an adult, follow the proper channels of saying, I'm telling you, it hasn't been studying these conditions. So if you're not working with somebody to feel comfortable and understand it, then don't do it.
Okay. Um, okay, Jackie, how do you know when to take it? I'm about to start Xifaxan.
You can take it with Xifaxan, you could take it with diflucan, you could take it with any sort of treatment, and you could take it. A lot of people take it in the morning because there's brain. For some folks, there's about 40% of people who report a brain benefit. I don't have a brain benefit, which means, thankfully, I don't have brain inflammation in that way. Shay, my wife, and also, part of the company, she goes on lots of podcasts talking about the brain benefit that she got, where she says she feels like she got her 20-year-old brain back. And she doesn't she doesn't take everything that I make, but she loves this stuff.
All right. Okay, you guys. Yep. It's not designed to help your methane SIBO, but it is designed to help with histamine issues, allergies. If you have histamine reactions because you have SIBO, which does happen to some people, then it could be helpful. So definitely click the link, look at the page, see if you have any periodontal issues, skin issues, again, these histamine overreactions, then it might be a fit for you. Okay. How does this compare to immune therapy that uses microdosing like homeopathic of the actual virus?
Yeah, I talked about this already, so go back and listen to it, but it's
Okay.
not the same. It's not
Okay.
in this.
Okay, great. Susan, email support@healthygut.com. They're saying SIBO SOS is invalid. It may be, it
If
has
you
now
use it
been.
with the subscription setting, it's not going to work. And
Oh,
then
okay.
if it's not working for some other reason, we'll sort it out.
Okay.
It's
Is there a space between SIBO and SOS?
No, it's all one.
Okay, it's all one. Okay, just shooting that out there. Okay. All right, guys, we have about 2 minutes left. So what I want to say is, you heard from Steven, you get the idea. Okay. I understand what it's like to go, but wait, I'm not sure it's going to work for me. But wait, I have this and I get it. Believe this is me. This is what I have gone through. I called it eventually. I called it, well, I was in it. I didn't. I called it SIBO panic. Let's all take a breath. Here we have an opportunity. It's cutting edge information. If you're attracted to it, if you think like, you know what, this is cool. This sounds like something I may benefit from, then give it a try. If you're like, I'm paralyzed, I'm scared, then you need extra breaths, extra hugs to yourself. We get it. Steven and I have both been there, probably me more than him. So you don't have to do anything right now. Okay. It's just like some information for you. It has been transformative for many, many people. It is 18 months old based on information and research from Japan for 30 years. And there are more current studies that you guys can look up. It's on the page. So no pressure, no nothing, just, hey, here, this is cool. That's the point. That's all. Just all good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a new novel concept to most people. It's not going to work for everybody. Like I said, 97% of people keep the product, and we try to encourage you to refund if it doesn't work. We do have health coaches standing by to help you with your dosing or if it's not working. And at the end of the day, it's just one part of it's one part of a protocol that you're working with your practitioner on.
Right.
And so I want that to be very clear as well. It's just that there is no other version of this out there. And if you've tried other things like the immunotherapies, the homeopathic therapies, the blocker therapies, high dose quercetins, high dose mast cell stabilizers, and it hasn't worked, this might be an option for you.
Here, guys, I'm just sharing the screen with you. Do you see the class? You guys, do you see it?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so this is his cute bobblehead. So this is, if you purchase in the next like 5 minutes, this is the master class that's $59 that we would be sharing with you. You just have to email us at info@SIBO SOS with proof of purchase over the next 10 minutes. Look, I'm extending it 10 minutes. Fine. 4:05 Eastern time to be here at the live webinar. We do like to reward those of you who show up, and you'll be getting the slides, the transcripts. Oh my gosh, the handouts. There he is in his office. Are you itchy, sneezy, covered in rashes? There you go. Here's a masterclass for you from one of the most brilliant minds in this area that is a world-renowned expert in it. So literally, we pulled that together for you today because I wanted to really give you an extra incentive if you were interested and give you the extra help. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Steven. Always good to be with you all.
Yeah,
And
thanks, Siobhan. I'm sorry for everybody who's having an order issue. It seems like it's a fraction of you guys, but a few of you are frustrated. So please hit up support at Healthy Gut. We'll get it figured out for you. And Siobhan, as long as you email us in the next 10 minutes and you end up purchasing, Siobhan will honor her discount, I believe.
yes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're not trying to get you. We're trying to help you. That's the point. That's the point. Okay. Take care, everyone. Clarissa, thank you. Try to email me back all my little questions to you, Clarissa, today, if possible. Stephen, take care. Take care, everyone. Mwah!
Thank you,
Love you.
everybody.
Okay. Bye. Thanks, everyone, for showing up. I really appreciate it. And if you're watching the replay, honestly, good for you. Replays are hard to watch sometimes because you're like, I like it live. But I want to give you a shout out because that's a lot extra credit. Just you might want to get on 1.5 speed. I get it. Because it's very psychological. Why would I want to watch something that's on replay? Well, if you have MCAS, I really hope you've taken the opportunity to watch this because this could be a game changer. We didn't even talk about Steven's Facebook group. He has coaches in there. He has true experts in there, as well as peers, but the experts really do care and are highly trained on this, and it's really cool. And once you are a customer of Steven's, you do have access to that Facebook group. Okay, hit and stop. Love ya. Bye. Thanks, everyone.